Morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Hetty, and as you all know, I'm Alice's favorite daughter. Well, actually, her favorite child. And I'm honored to stand here today and welcome you on behalf of our family. It does mean the world to us that you're here, whether you traveled a great distance or just a short one, whether you knew Mom for decades or just for a season of her life. Your presence today is a gift to us, and it would have meant everything to her. She's been planning her funeral for a while. Read this, do that, kind of thing. Alice was a woman who was many things to many people. A mother, a Oma, a sister, a friend. And she was a woman who knew hardship and tried to bear it with grace. A woman who knew joy and shared it freely. A woman who loved deeply and gave generously. And never ever stopped being curious about the world around her. Her life was not a simple one. She faced things that would have broken some people, and at times she was broken by them. But she carried on and kept giving to others, and I think that was her source of strength, to give. She was a giver. And what I hope you take away from today as we share with you, it's not the hardship, but it's the fullness, the richness of a life lived with intention and with love. Mom touched so many of you in this room in ways both large and small. Maybe she showed up for you at the right moment. Maybe she made you laugh when you needed it. Maybe she threw water at you or hit you with her cane. Maybe she simply made you feel welcome and seen, because that was something she did. So on behalf of our whole family, thank you. Thank you for being part of her journey. And thank you for the friendship, the kindness, and the love you gave her over the years. She was richer for having you in her life. We are here today not only to grieve her passing, but to celebrate everything she was. To give thanks for the years that we had with her, and to honor the way she shaped us, and boy, she did shape us. We will share stories and memories today, and some of them will make you laugh. Mom would like that. And some may bring tears, and both are welcome here. Both are part of loving someone. Let's remember her together, because that feels right. Thank you for being with us as we celebrate and as we say goodbye to Alice and celebrate everything she was. And as she would love to say, this is my last hurrah. So we're going to start with a poem that my mom picked out, and it's going to be read by my daughter, Rita.
I Believe by Edgar Guest. I believe in friendship, and I believe in trees. I believe in hollyhocks a-swaying in the breeze. And I believe in robins and roses white and red, and rippling brooks and rivers and blue skies overhead. I believe in laughter, and I believe in love. And I believe the daffodils believe in God above. I believe in friendship, for I have found it good. And I believe in kindly words, for I have understood. My faith is founded on the years and all that I have seen. Something of God I look upon, no matter where I've been. Within a swamp, but yesterday, a lily smiled at me. And only God could see it there, to bloom for me to see.
And now if everyone will please join us as we sing a hymn that Mom also picked out, called Just As I Am, and it is on your bulletin.
Just as I am.
gonna have words from the family, and I'm gonna start it off, because then I get to beat Tessa to some of the punchlines that they're arguing about. Big sister rules, right? So, this is my eulogy for my mother. I want to start by saying something simple. Mom was a pleasure to be with. She was fun, she was caring, and she was helpful. She really lived by her dad's words, and I'm sure her siblings will agree to this. Never go empty-handed. You are not allowed to walk around the house empty-handed. If you're coming to the kitchen table, you bring something. If you're leaving the table, you take something. If you're going up the stairs, you bring something. And Mom really lived by that, and she taught us all that. You don't walk empty-handed. She had this way of making you feel like being around her was just easy, warm, and safe. She loved deeply, she gave generously, and she showed up. Not just in good times, but in the hard ones. And that was the truest thing about her. She was the definition of a good mom. Altine Hunts, known as Alice Ollie, was born in Holland in 1933 into circumstances that were hard from the very start. She never knew her mother. Her mother passed away shortly after her birth, and she was raised by relatives and stepmothers. And she grew up navigating a world that didn't always make things easy for her. But even then, her spirit was unshakable. She came to Canada from Holland at 16 years old with her family and with a dream of becoming a nurse. But that dream was taken away from her. She wasn't allowed to pursue it, but instead had to quit school and work as a nanny for some Canadians who actually turned out to be wonderful people and taught Mom English and a lot about the Canadian culture. And she would have to bring all her money, like her older siblings, back to their dad to help him pay for the farm that he had bought. After a few years, she was told she could attend a hairdressing course and become a hairdresser. It certainly wasn't a job she wanted, and to say she was a natural in it would be a lie. As you could tell by the photos of me as a child, I was tortured. I was often called a boy. Mom was mischievous from the very beginning. She would tell us stories about growing up in Holland, how she was playing in the ditch one time with her friends and decided they should make some popcorn, so she started a fire in the ditch. The local police came by, took her by the hand, and carted her back home in front of the village back to her dad. Guess what happened then? She used to steal cookies from the local bakery with her friends. And her dad was in the gardening industry, sold seeds and stuff like that, but he also apparently grew grapes. And on the grapes in the morning would be drops of dew. And apparently you weren't supposed to shake the grapes or touch them or let this dew fall off. So Mom would wait till everyone was gone and then go and hit every drop of dew she could find. That was her. Years later, she broke her wrist at a pool party, not by falling, but by play fighting with people trying not to get thrown into the pool. That was Mom. Still in the middle of the fun, still refusing to be on the sidelines. She was not a troublemaker, she was a spirited, curious, joyful person who never lost that quality, not even at 92 years old. In fact, just a month or so ago, she was staying at our place in Florida, and I was getting her some breakfast. And I made some yogurt and put some berries and granola in it, put it in front of her. And she demanded coffee, like for the last 5 years of her life. She was like, "Give me my coffee." Anyway, so I put the food in front of her and she looks at it and she goes, "What's this slop?" Then as she sees the disappointment on my face, she smirks and says, "I'm just kidding." One of my favorite pictures recent favorite pictures of her is she is standing behind my cousins, Heather and Pat in Florida, and they're sitting out on the dock. and Mom's back behind them going, like she's 90. She's back here making faces. And like I said before, many of you probably had a bit of water thrown at you or the cane whacked, because all in fun. She loved to be the instigator of fun. But she did have a healer's heart her whole life. She was meant to be a nurse. She always knew what to do when someone was hurting. She knew remedies, the right word, the right kind of presence. She would have made an amazing nurse. And she was also extremely accepting of others. She had the gift of empathy. She became a true Canadian. She loved Canada. And in fact, she was a considerably better speller than any of her children ever were in the English and Dutch language. It was a little embarrassing, actually. And she also kept her Dutch heritage close to her, particularly in her accent. It never fully left her, although she tried. And we all knew it best in one very specific saying. When Mom arrived at your house, you wouldn't just knock and walk in. She'd open the door, lean in, and call out in a voice with that accent, "Hello! All the grandkids know it, and they love to talk about it, and we love doing that impression. Dizoma! She built her life here with courage and hard work, and along the way, she endured things that would have broken some. She lost her mother. She had a marriage filled with strife. She lost her eldest child, Wilfred, in an accident when he was 50. She lost a son-in-law, Gord, and a daughter-in-law, Tracy, 5 of her 9 siblings, and still she kept going. And still she found ways to be joyful. Still she showed up. She always showed up. When my first husband passed away, Mom was there. She helped with my children. She came to my business and weeded the gardens. She came to my home and weeded the gardens, and she swept the floors and washed the dishes and took the kids out for treats. She was truly a huge source of strength for me. And I hope she knows that. She showed by action, by showing up, what family can do and be for each other. I'm not sure how I would have made it through if it wasn't for the help of my family. And gardening was a wonderful outlet for Mom. I believe most of you know what a gardener Mom was. Wherever she lived, she kept beautiful gardens. It was one of the ways she took care of the world around her. And she taught us to give to people who have less. She modeled generosity not as an occasional act, but as a way of life. She even took on 2 very young Jamaican girls after she met them on a vacation she was on, and she financed them throughout their lives, right through university. She taught us that showing up for one another is the most important thing we can do. With all the hardship, the grief, the disappointments, she chose to be generous anyways. She gave of herself constantly and without fanfare. She was also an adventurer. She took my sister and me on a train journey through the Copper Canyon in Mexico, one we will never forget. And for those of you who had the pleasure of attending her 80th birthday, you might remember the poopy pants story. That was from that Mexico trip. She loved doing a family cruise, and she took us back to Holland for a trip of bike riding and boating through the country. She hiked a lot and taught me to love it, and I've been able to pass that down to my kids. She traveled. She said yes to things. And from 85 onward, she called every trip her last hurrah. And it was so funny when that started to become a thing. Mom wants another last hurrah. We should throw her mom a party, another last hurrah. And recently, when she was last in the hospital, I asked her, what are some of the best memories you have of your life, Mom? She said to me, my 80th birthday party. How many people get to say that? Get to live that long and then have such a good time at their 80th party that it was one of the funnest things you remember of your life. So she leaves behind 2 sisters, a brother, 4 children, and a wide circle of grandchildren and great-grandchildren who carry her in the way they love people, the way they show up, and the way they find joy even in hard times. Mom, it will be hard not seeing you again, not having the chance to share my life with you anymore, to sit and listen to your stories one more time, to show off my life to you and my growing family, my wonderful kids and stepkids and all my beautiful grandchildren. I've got 63 years of traveling this journey with you, Mom, side by side, always counting on you to be there. And I want to thank you, Mom, for the love and kindness you poured into me and mine every single day. You are my hero. But how do I convey to all of these people what I want you to know about my mom? How do I let them know exactly how wonderful you were to me? And the best I can do right now is to say this. When people call me adventurous, it's because of you. When people call me generous, it's because of you. When people praise me, it's because of you. It comes from you. It has always come from you. Thank you, Mom. Your turn, Tess.
Maybe. Glasses? No, I remember glasses. Maybe Kleenex. So before I get to my prepared words, some off-the-cuff stuff. So hopefully I don't say too often. So last night before I went to bed, I said, okay, I want to get up early and I want to have a walk. I want to, process what I have to say and what has to be done today. And as I'm walking, I'm just thinking about yesterday, and I had to come here in the afternoon. And I come in, and I see this beautiful coffin, so lovingly made by Charlie and his son, and decorated by Anson and Justin. And I see the flowers from Sid and from Kathy, and a nice pitch for Mom. And it's just beautiful. I'm not sad, I'm not angry, and it's beautiful. And the visitation last night too, it was a lot of fellowship and sharing, and the beautiful videos and the pictures. And it wasn't sad like the other visitations that I had to do. It wasn't like Gord or Tracy or Will. This is my mom, and I loved her dearly, and I hate to let her go, but it was 92 and a half years of a really good life. And the end came fast, and the end was beautiful. She got to visit with her friends and us and a lot of her grandchildren, and we were able to hold her hand as she went, and it was so beautiful. I just wanted to start there, that this is not as sad as when a young person dies. This was a good life, and she was ready, and I've known for a long time that she was ready. I've also known for a very long time that I'm part of a really great family, and I've always really appreciated being a part of it. Or maybe not so much when mustard was being shoved at my nose at a birthday party.
Really?
And being hung off the banister by my feet by my brothers, and then letting me go and recatching me, because that's a really safe activity. And when you're the youngest of 5, I assure you that when they start picking on you, what you need to do is play dead right away, so they bugger off and don't want to bug you anymore.
Sorry, Spike.
There was also the consistent reminders that I was the unwanted child, a mistake. For those of you who don't know, I'm a September baby. I'm pretty sure I'm the result of a New Year's celebration. Maybe some alcohol might have been involved. A 4-year gap between siblings now doesn't seem so unusual, but in those days that wasn't so common. Who knew that after those years passed, you get to have the greatest sister in the whole world? and some pretty awesome brothers. Even when I wanted to get as far away from Dodge as possible and decided to go to university in Thunder Bay, the times coming home and reuniting with family were incredibly special and fun, filled with love and laughter and fun activities. Mom instilled a sense of family that can't be undone. We are close and we're tight, and we support each other in the good times when it's easy to do so, but especially in times of hardship. We stick together, we support each other in times of stress and sorrow. Mom loved to travel, and travel she did. She was adventurous on her travels. She broke her knuckles playing Tarzan, swinging on a knotted rope in Jamaica. And because she had to convalesce there, she met a poor, weeping Jamaican woman who was pregnant, and then spent many years supporting her and her daughters to allow them a life of success. And they are successful now. We had the pleasure of meeting them on one of our family cruises when we climbed the falls in Jamaica. We always teased Mom that she was giving them our inheritance, but nobody cared about that. She supported that family, such an incredible act of love and kindness and generosity. We have been fortunate to have many family trips, some family cruises, a trip to Cuba for my mom's 85th birthday, and many years at Caribou Lodge celebrating together with love and laughter and fellowship. Brian loved the weeks at Caribou Lodge. It was his favorite week of the summer, and he really enjoyed watching all the Kuipers swoop in like a flock of seagulls, along with some cousins and so many trailers. Watching the kids have fun and the adults who were having at least as much fun, if not more than the children. Mom was someone to be a bit wary of at Caribou Lodge. It was pretty common for somebody to end up wearing her drape, which she thought was hysterical. And Mom also managed to take down a 6'2" man by karate chopping his knees. I'd like to take a moment to thank Brian for his friendship and dedication to my mother, and for his hospitality and kindness and generosity for those weeks at Caribou Lodge. They will be forever in our hearts and our memories, and we wish you great peace on your journey, my friend. You are remembered fondly. Since 2019, or something pre-COVID, I've had the absolute pleasure, and I mean that sincerely with my whole heart, to have my mother living with me in her own granny flat with a connecting door that was always open. My family and I were able to spend countless times having coffee with her in the mornings and dinners in the evenings, and playing tile rummy, having a glass of wine, and just the ability to have so much time to spend with your elderly parent makes me feel entirely blessed. I want to thank my children for always being there for their Oma as well. They never once complained about helping out to get her dinner, her meds, anything she needed, taking her out shopping or garage sailing or yard to get her hair done. They were both tireless in their love and dedication to her as well. In fact, numerous days, one of them would say, "I'm getting an ice cream for Oma so I can be Oma's favorite today." And you were always Mom's favorite when you were the one alone with her. And as soon as the next person came along, they were her favorite too. My siblings and I have had many sarcastic conversations. I think sarcasm came from my mom. We're all fully endowed with the derogatory wit. And when we tease each other mercilessly about why Mom loved me more, even the one birthday card on our mantle still reads, "Being your least disappointing child seems like gift enough." Mom was also extremely good at giving gifts and then asking for them back, and then so she could give them to somebody else. I don't think she ever thought that she really shouldn't do that. And so many thanks to my loving partner, Charlie. This past year and a half, your friendship, respect, and love shown to my mother was nothing short of spectacular. You always took the time to chat, to bring her coffee after supper, often topped with a generous pour of Bailey's, some Spagolas cookies, and if there weren't enough on the plate, a stink eye to show her disapproval. And when I couldn't find where you were, sure enough, you would be snuggled in on Mom's couch, sucked into the drama, watching Little House on the Prairie with her. Henrietta and Jim, Pat, Brian, and Marlene, thank you for watching over Mom in Florida while I needed to return home to work. I know it's not such a hardship to go to Florida in the winter, but it did allow my mom to stay warm in the warm weather and enjoy the sunshine and to fill in her gardens, and for that I am truly grateful. My mom was somehow able to be the mother she always envisioned for herself. She was always thoughtful and supportive and an excellent role model. When I had my daughter, she came almost every day to see her because she said that babies change so much every day, which is rightly true. And she certainly did love babies. My daughter loved her so much she would cry when my mom handed her back over to me because Oma was leaving. Mom loved coming to my house because I lived where there were sidewalks and she could push the stroller and there was a second-hand shop nearby. And a second-hand shop junkie she was. Thrifting was definitely her jam. A few people have asked me what my favorite memory of my mom is, but I don't think I can just pick one. It's a whole life of fantastic memories. She would take my best childhood friend Sherry and I to the mall, give us each $5 to spend, go swimming at the Tilsonburg Y on Saturday afternoons in the winter, biking to the Elmer Dairy Freeze to get ice cream. She often told the story that I was ridiculously embarrassed by her singing at the top of her lungs while riding the bike. I mean, what 14-year-old isn't embarrassed by that? In university, she took me to Florida and to Jamaica, and after that we had vacations in Texas and Mexico. Vacation mom was super fun. And after that, a bunch of family vacations together with children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, of which there are many. They got the fruitful and multiply down pat. In fact, this year we are welcoming 4 new babies into this world. For people wanting to make a donation, we picked the Grace Cafe in St. Thomas. The Grace Cafe was started by a woman who wanted to make a safe and special place that was welcoming to everyone in need. It serves mostly the homeless and people with mental health issues, but it welcomes everyone. It's a special place to fellowship and provides foods and drinks to all who are wanting that. I used to be a bit annoyed because my clients would go there for second breakfast, and it felt like they were taking services that others truly needed. But when I talked to her, she said that she wanted to provide for anyone walking through the doors, and now I see the incredible fellowship and community that has been established at the Grace Cafe. It's truly a wonderful service, and Mom really liked it. To any and all of you who have touched my mother's life and made her journey on this earth more enjoyable, I thank you. I thank you for your acts of love and kindness and friendship to her through all her 92 and a half years. I know there were many.
Well, I have a different story to tell. Actually, I don't. I remember my sisters who would just say a lot of wonderful things about my mom. But this one's a bit more of a tease. The facts are true, but so a lot of the family banter throughout the years was about spankings we used to get from Mom. Although I think Wilf and I wore her out a fair bit before the other kids came along. So I don't think they suffered as much from a callous ass the way we did. Her weapon of choice was a mutterklapper, a rug beater for those of you not graced with a Dutch heritage. But she wasn't partial. In a pinch, whatever she could find within reach, a wooden spoon, a hairbrush, a car brush, or if nothing availed itself, just her hands. From my recollection, the girls didn't seem to get too many spankings, much to Wilf and my chagrin.
Not true.
Yeah, it's true. Mom said the girls didn't get into as much trouble. That wasn't the way we saw it. But we weren't going to risk another spanking to say so. By the time John was old enough, to receive his leggings, he learned that it's better to say yes than do no, and thereby eliminate any potential calluses where the sun don't shine. In our teenage years, we exacted a certain amount of revenge on Mom by having cherry pit fights after Sunday lunch. So you could get a fairly good squeeze out of a cherry pit that just came out of your mouth and send them across the room to one of the other family members. And, anyway, yeah, they left stains. Like one day we got Mom actually crying because of what we did. Can't believe we still did it. We did that.
I know,
thing,
you were
but-
so bad.
Yeah, you were part of this. Anyway, all kidding aside, we knew that Mom loved us, and that's what mattered the most. We all knew her love. We felt her love even until the end of her life. Every time I visited her, she always greeted me with that big smile of hers. And it was always a pleasure to see, and that's a picture I will keep in my mind forever for Mom. Anyway, I guess we'll sing. I would like to sing a song that Mom said was very comforting to her a number of years ago. She had a heart issue that we thought was a heart attack at one point, but turned out not to be so bad. But the song is Precious Lord. Box it up. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, help me stand. I am tired, I am weak, I am worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. When my way grows drear, precious Lord, linger near. When my life is almost gone, hear my cry, hear my call. Hold my hand, lest I fall. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. When the darkness appears and the night draws near, and the day is past and gone, at the river I stand, guide my feet, hold my hand, take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home.
Thank you, Terry. I'm not sure why he got the gene to sing and I didn't. That was wonderful, Terry. And now we're going to have a song by Terry's daughter, Melissa.
This was Oma's favorite song, and she would tell me frequently over the years that she wanted me to sing it at her funeral. Yeah, so this is in honor of her. Last night I lay sleeping, there came a dream so fair. I stood in old Jerusalem beside the temple there. I heard the children singing, and
Oh, I love that. And now we will hear a prayer of Amber.
Let's pray. Father God, we come before you today full of sadness at the loss of Alice, a mother, friend, sister, and grandmother. Although we are filled with sorrow, we are thankful for the years we had with her, and we celebrate who she was to us. Her gift was a life to those around her. We thank you for the legacy she leaves behind, her love of her family, her investment in her children, her strength and determination, and her quick wit. Her kindness and love were a gift to everyone she came into contact with, and these things will not soon be forgotten. I pray these memories of Alice bring comfort to her loved ones during this difficult time. Be with those who feel her loss deeply, and strengthen them with reminders of who she was to them. I pray her love continues to inspire us, and may we find strength and unity together as a family. We will miss her greatly, but we know there were many waiting for Alice with outstretched arms. We thank you for giving her peace and eternal rest. Amen.
Thank you, Amber. And I just wanted to say a few more words. Charlie, thank you for making the coffin. And Justin and Anson got thrown under the bus and told to make an interior. Thank you so much for doing that. And my kids for helping me with a lot of things. Thank you to my husband. You really showed up for Mom. We're always kind to her. And damn it, I made the soup and she gave you the credit all the time. That is dick and regular soup. Thank you to my siblings. It was an honor to be there together and witness Mom passing. Thank you. And on that note, we're going to have the interment now, and we would love you all to come back to Tessa's place after so we can celebrate and have some fun and throw water at each other, just like Mom would want us to. Pardon? Oh, and there's lots of parking right beside Tessa's house. There's a church parking on the Fellowship Church there. And I believe they're going to have the pallbearers come to the front.